Hello, my friends. I hope you're having a beautiful day and a lovely close to your week. I had an amazing week. I did miss you on the show, but I am out here in Austin, as you can see, about 20 miles outside of the town, at a place called the Wizard Academy, where I spent the last 2 days doing a bunch of personal development, mindset stuff, and it was incredible. But I'm still on the campus for about another 12, 15 hours and going to be hanging out with some people here doing some networking. But we have some politics to attend to, and I figured we'd do a walk and talk around the campus. The big story today, of course, Paul Pelosi, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi's husband, apparently violently assaulted in his home. Of course, condemned violence all over the place, and don't think that's appropriate ever. It raises a question about sort of the double standards that exist when political violence happens in this country. You see a lot of people making it political and turning it into political showboating when really that doesn't need to happen. And in this case, the first person that I saw do that was our friend Adam Kinzinger, crying Adam Kinzinger, who just gets very emotional from time to time, often shedding tears when he's trying to fake a political point. But he turned this into a political thing immediately. He called this a 42-year-old individual who was obsessed with J6. A 42-year-old male obsessed with J6. And I was thinking, who is he talking about? It sounds like a perfect description of him. The guy can't let it go. Everywhere you turn, it is Kinzinger, very upset with J6. That's all he talks about all the time. And he's got to be about 42. But he turns it into a political circus. He was on Twitter and he said that everybody needs to condemn this. Everybody needs to speak out, raise up, make their voice heard so that this doesn't happen again in America. It's inappropriate. It's insurrectionary. It's like Nancy Pelosi had an insurrection in her house. Can you believe this? MAGA. Unbelievable. And so that's what he's saying. But does that same standard apply to other people? You know, many other Republicans have been attacked. Rand Paul was attacked. And we don't hear a lot of the same screeching from the left when it happens to an R. But if it happens to a D, then it turns into a big outcry that we need more civility, and suddenly the Republicans need to do the speaking up. They need to become officially on the record one way or the other. And it's sort of insulting because of course everybody opposes political violence and violence at all. But it's like, if you don't do what we say, then you're responsible for the penalties. And so either way, if you do what they say, then you're sort of adhering to their standards and you're playing by their framework. But if you don't, then you're somebody who loves political violence. This is the Wizard Tower. It's where I spent the last 2.5 days. We're done there. And it was an amazing experience. You can go up there on the roof. There's a star deck up there. And actually, if you look this direction, that's basically straight north, right up there. And you can sort of see from the star deck the North Star. It's beautiful. Very good lessons up there that we talked about. But with Kinzinger, it was, immediately on his Twitter profile, which Elon owns now. Shout out to Elon owning Twitter. And he is playing that card. Republicans have to condemn this or else. So you're either playing by Adam's rules. It's like, who's your master? I'm your master because you condemned it, just like I told you to do. It's a weird little political play that they all do. It's very obvious and transparent, but it is what it is. And so we have that first reaction. A lot of reactions, of course, out there. And another one that we saw was from our friend Harmeet Dillon, which we read one of her lawsuits last week, if you remember. Her office filed or wrote the lawsuit that was filed by the RNC against Google. We listened to Ronna McDaniel last week or earlier this week, and then we also saw the motion, or the actual complaint that was filed in court, which was drafted by the Dillon Law Group. And she is a lawyer in this space, right? She really appears on Tucker regularly. This is sort of the wheelhouse that their law firm is in, politics, law, and we do criminal defense. They do political law, right? Working with campaigns, filing lawsuits, subpoenas, and all that technical stuff. Now, she said that she had previously filed lawsuits against Paul Pelosi, and I forget what the basis was for them, but she explained that she had tried to get him served, right, in order to effectuate jurisdiction. The court has to have, to serve somebody, so the court says, okay, they know about the lawsuit, they've got notice, the court has authority to act with or without them now. So she tries to serve him, and apparently has a very difficult time, just can't track this guy down. And she posted on Twitter saying security is extremely tight, right? And she would know because she has to find him, right? Multiple properties, multiple homes. She said that there were a lot of law enforcement officers who were there around the perimeter, sort of, off-duty officers and things. It's the Speaker of the House, right? So you would expect high security. And it seems kind of crazy that somebody with a hammer could break in and go after Paul Pelosi. But evidently that's what happened. Now there was another situation, very similar situation here in Arizona. So I'm going to be going to that food truck. Where is it? Can you see it? There it is right there. Getting some burgers after our walk and talk. But there was a very similar situation that happened in Arizona. It wasn't a violent assault on a person, but allegedly there was a break-in at Katie Hobbs' headquarters, which she is the governor or the candidate who's running against Kari Lake, who just suddenly, conveniently, got up by about 11 points on the last poll. So they ask her, Katie, what happened here? She puts out this big press release. My campaign headquarters was broken into, and we're working with the Phoenix police, and this whole thing was shocking. And without any evidence or any way to implicate Kari Lake, she does. She says, and Kari Lake has been talking badly about my campaign, and she's been promoting conspiracy theories, and she's this evil monster who is sowing seeds of discord in our democracy, blah, blah, blah. And you're just going, wow. So first of all, everybody gets skeptical immediately. Okay, so who really broke into your stupid campaign office? Let's see this thing. Are you reacting to the 11-point decline in the polls that you are currently facing, which is why you need to get some media attention? Because it might sort of feel like that's what that is. You're saying that now there is political violence being waged against your campaign, incited by Kari Lake. And what Kari Lake responded to this, but this pattern is this idea of this stochastic terrorism. And they were blaming Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire and Shapiro and all those guys over there for engaging in stochastic terrorism. It's the idea that you're not actually a terrorist. Okay, you're not actually the person who's committing the violence, but you as the speaker, your speech is triggering that terror. It's triggering that violence because your language is so rough and abrasive that they have no choice but to act. Okay, so they're saying a good example of this would be the Matt Walsh What Is a Woman movie. Okay, they said that was stochastic terrorism because that's encouraging people to be against trans rights or whatever the takeaway of that movie that they think is. They're saying that's committing violence, that's contributing to this terrorism. And so Walsh is not doing it specifically, but because he's speaking it, this is stochastic terrorism. This is the same type of crap that Katie Hobbs was talking about. Somebody did something bad to us. I don't like my political opponent, and I would like to use this bad thing that happened to me to smear my opponent. And I think that's appropriate in America. And so she definitely did that. And the media sort of runs with this crap. Again, it's ridiculous. And Kari Lake called him out big time. She said to the media, "You're falling for this crap? It feels like Jussie Smollett version 2.0. It's ridiculous." And she just went one right after another, taking it to them. And of course, they don't like when that happens. But people ask the question, is this stuff elevated, escalated? amplified by the media, by the people who are involved in these things. And again, I certainly do not wish violence or any ill will on Paul Pelosi or anybody. Never would, never have. But we saw Nancy's Netflix debut when she had the J6 videos. We played those pretty at length when her grandson and her granddaughter, her film crew, was there with her. And we use that Hollywood term, chewing the scenery, because that's exactly what she was doing in those videos. She was walking around and on the phone. Hi, Mike Pence. Have you been hacked to death yet? No, we haven't been murdered yet with machetes. Not yet, but they're coming. I think that it's going to be, they told us a few days to clear the Capitol. She said that. This is a place where some people are staying. I'm further down the road. But she was very dramatic about this in her video debut. Talking with Pence, talking with Schumer. Are we going to nuke them yet? Do we turn the keys yet? And trying to sell it. Raised a lot of eyebrows for a lot of people. So this is where we just saw the Wizard Tower. This is where some of the residences are. And it's definitely not a hotel, it's a retreat. So we have a little gym over here. And then as we walk down this way, you'll see some more statues and artwork and some beautiful scenery all around the campus. Very healing, very restorative. And it's a cool place because most of this stuff is donated, if not all of it. And you'll see it on the buildings. People will, it says the furniture in my room is donated by this family. The room was donated by this family. The Wi-Fi was donated by this family. And it's kind of like that all over the place. And people will make a suggestion. We should put this here or do this there. And well, go raise some money and go do it. And then put your name on it. And it's a very beautiful place. And of course it's in Austin, Texas. And it is, it feels like a lot of powerful people are doing a lot of powerful things and they're getting a lot of inspiration and a lot of energy here. And so I was grateful for the time here. But I did miss you and the show and our time together. So I wanted to make sure we got a little bit of political talk in today. It's mostly Twitter talk. It's mostly election talk and Paul Pelosi talk. We'll see if we get some more interesting activity once those stories settle down. Because, man, it's been a few days since we've had some good updates. I haven't even taken a look at the dockets. Don't judge me. I'm having withdrawals. I'll probably look at them tonight. Conference is basically over. But I do hope you're having an amazing day. You can see this is my final stop here. I'll take you in here and show you around a little bit before we wrap it up here. But this is where we stay after the conference is over. You can see the rooms and the view. Beautiful wind coming through here, beautiful seating area. And it was an amazing time, an amazing trip. But we're wrapping it up. Today is my last day here, last night. I'll have some final things to do tomorrow, and then I'm on my way back. So my last night here, tomorrow I fly back, and then we've got a Sunday, and then we're back on Monday. And I hope that you are going to be there and joining us. But until then, hope you have an amazing weekend, and you're having a beautiful Friday, a beautiful close to your day. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye-bye.